Yo, everybody, I'm Kel.
And I'm Jake.
And you are Kicking It with Kel and Jake. Today, we got something special for you guys. A guy from Philly. We call him Passion P. Man, y'all get ready for this episode. It's going to be crazy. Let's get it. Cue the intro.
Cue the intro.
Cue the intro. Yo, man, Passion P from Philly. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, so I'm coming from Philly, but I'm actually originally from Brooklyn.
Really? Really? What made you move? What, you had to move to Philly growing up, or something that you just chose to do?
It was just where God brought me, I feel,
Okay.
through my, circumstances and everything. Like, I originally went from Brooklyn to Florida, and then from Florida back to Manhattan, to like Upper East Side Harlem, and then from there is where I went back to, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Led me to Philly.
okay. Okay, that's what's up. What place you like the best? You like being in Philly, or you like Brooklyn? Are you claiming Brooklyn?
Yeah, I'm Brooklyn.
Yeah.
When you said from Philly, I had to
Oh man, he gonna claim the BX. He claiming the BX.
and BK, baby.
I'm with BK. My bad. My bad. I'm not from.
Shout out to the X.
BX is Bronx.
That's
correct?
Bronx. That's
Yeah.
the Bronx. My
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that's where it all started at. But yeah, I like it all over, man. I like Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's peaceful, man. I like it out there. They got long roads. Kind of reminds me out here. Just a nice place, good environment. I got kids, so love to see them grow up in a better future.
Okay. Got nothing wrong with that. So, what got you to being an artist? What was the thing that made you want to be an artist, a rapper, or whatever?
So when I was younger, a couple of my homies were in a group called Intellectual Violence, or IV for short. And a lot of them were stemmed from Coney Island. And for those that don't know, you ever seen the movie The Warriors, right?
Okay, yeah. Like the video game and the movie.
Where,
and
when he
everything.
clinks the bottles and says,
Yeah,
Warriors!
yeah.
Yeah.
So that right there is like my background, So like to me, seeing that type of stuff was introduced to me very young, of just like, just that kind of lifestyle. So seeing that stuff and adapting to it, I just saw my friends doing it, really. And what made me want to do it was I met a producer who was also an artist. His name was Chief, and shout out to Chief. I still have been unable to reconnect with him, but he lived in this area, Gravesend, which I was from, which is near Coney Island. It's like the borderline between Coney Island and where like it starts to turn into Bay Ridge in Brooklyn. Okay. Which is predominantly like Italian. But he was a producer for the Rough Riders. And if you ever seen Styles P's first music video ever, it's called Daddy Get That Cash.
Yeah.
And he's actually in that video. In the very beginning, he gets the girl's number and she writes it on his back.
Okay. I remember that. I'm a Styles P fan, so yeah.
Big Ghost fan too, but
Yeah.
yeah, he bumps into somebody, pickpockets him, and he goes, and the money just gets, exchanged all throughout the video, and at the end, the millionaire's throwing the money off the roof, and then he picks it up and finds it again. But that's my boy Chief.
Okay.
He's in the video.
Okay.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was really cool. He told me to watch the video. I didn't know he was in it like that. I thought you just might have had a scene or two, but he used to produce. It was called Boot Camp Click. This was a branch of the Rough Riders, and when I was about 14, 15, he gave me my first beat, and he said, see what you could do with this. And I listened to it, and I had it for years, and I loved that beat. And I wrote something to it, and I came back into the park the next day, and I spit it for him. And he's like, man, you gonna come with me. And he just started showing me everything he was doing and stuff, and I just fell in love with the process, really, more than anything else.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
That's what's up, man. So I understand, like, you rap, but you also produce.
Yeah.
So do you produce all your tracks yourself?
Mostly.
Mostly?
Yeah, so the reason why I got into production is because for me personally, my type of, music that I enjoy is kind of changed in the times. And I was trying to recreate that euphoric, what I feel nostalgic feeling that I grew up on in my production, because I wasn't finding it anywhere else. So I basically started producing because I didn't like what I was hearing.
Okay.
So that's where production came in, was I literally just wanted it to sound the way I wanted it to sound, because I was tired of it sounding like this and that, and I was like,
Yeah, some producers don't know what they're doing. Believe me, my partner over there know.
Yeah, and I noticed that because I do follow you on Instagram. I've been keeping up with you for a while. I noticed that you do a lot of samples off of the records.
Yeah.
So do you do a lot of analog versus digital, or do you kind of have a blend, or kind of like have a little bit of both?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. I love analog just because I'm old school. You know, I got guests on, like I'm just old school. And that generation is all analog. Like when I went to school, my mentor, Joey Heyer, shout out to Crystal Clear Recording Studios in Jersey now. But he had an original analog tape deck, which is like with the tape reels and everything. And that's how he would record and literally cut tape. And that's what you used to do back in the day. Now, I don't go that full on analog, but when it comes to like sampling the records, to me personally, there's nothing better than the sound of vinyl.
Okay.
Like I just love the way vinyl sounds.
Yeah.
You know?
And I noticed you do a lot of your drums with the MPC. Yeah.
Shout out to MPC.
So is that what you've been doing forever? You just been doing your drums all on there?
Yeah, I mean, I actually started like playing on my phone on GarageBand, you know, just using like loops and stuff and putting them together and just like making it sound the way I wanted it to sound, just to give myself what I wanted to hear. But when I was able to afford it, actually, you know that Facebook like buy and sell marketplace thing? I actually swear by it. I swear to God. Like I bought a few things off it and sold a few things off of it, and I never had a problem. And somebody one day posted an MPC Renaissance, which is the same one Q-Tip used.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he was on the Vibes cover with that. And I seen that and it was like $400. I was like, no fucking way, you know what I mean? And he said, yeah, come down to the studio in Ben Salem, which is right outside of Philly. And it happened to be my man Evo. Shout out to Evo. Evo was basically my mentor. Don't even know it. I said this before in another podcast. And in Kesmet, because when he sold me the MPC, I brought my record player there, and he like basically showed me everything he could. He spent like a good 2 or 3 hours with me, just like explaining the basics, and he told me just watch videos on YouTube and stuff like that. But like right there is where I fell in love with it, because I always loved the ability to make a record talk, you know, to make the song say what you want it to say. You know, that's the creative craft to me, is like you could take a Nina Simone record and have it say, you know, I wish the whole world could feel what I feel in my heart, and then you can mix it with, you know, some Isley Hayes of like feeling in the moment, you know, and it just, now it's a sentence.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it seems like you got a little.
You made a chorus
background.
of what you want.
Yeah, it's like you got a little bit of background with your music. You like all type of music, different genres and things like that. So you like to incorporate different genres of music to produce your own sound.
For sure. Yeah. So that comes from my mom and pop. My dad was actually a reggae in a reggae band. He was a bass player. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He recorded with Lee Scratch Perry. For those that don't know, Lee Scratch Perry is one of the main studio engineers in Studio One in Africa and Jamaica. And my dad actually recorded with him. He recorded all Bob Marley's kids, all 17 of them.
All 17.
Oh, wow.
Bob Marley.
All 17?
He got a lot of kids.
Yeah, he was a busy man. You know, he didn't know how to pull out. Right. His pull-out game.
He didn't believe in it.
DMX too, but hey, let me stop talking. You know, that's really where it is. My mom and dad actually met at Tower Records. My mom worked at Tower Records.
Okay.
And while she was there, she was pregnant with me, and she met a lot of people like Ray Charles and Stephen Richards and just like, you know, artists at the time. Tower Records and, you know, the early 80s was like the spot. You know, everyone was going there promoting stuff and, you know, record sales and stuff like that. So they met there. And that's where, you know, they had me. But my dad was already a bass player. He was into reggae music. My mom just loved music. Her job was to literally pick the songs to play in the store. And like that song Red Wine, she picked by UB40, she picked that to play before it went #1. So she's always had an ear for it. She's always told me. She's like the original Shazam app. You know, I could play a record for my mom, you know what I mean? And she'll tell me, oh, that's you know, Isaac Newton. She'll know exactly who it is, you know, like right off the rip. And I'm like, how do you know this? Because she worked in a record store for years. So that right there, I always run is my filter, you know, by my mom. She don't like it, and it's usually trash. And my daughter don't dance to it. It's usually not good.
It's not good at all.
Right. Those are my two filters right there.
Okay, I heard you have a daughter. Let's get a little bit into that personal life. So, heard you been married before.
No, I am married now.
You married now?
Yeah, been married.
Been married. Is this your first marriage? Second?
First marriage ever.
Ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
This year, April 10th will be 9 years.
Really?
Oh wow,
Wow.
that's dedication.
I didn't make it that long. Yeah, my
God willing, Lord willing.
Oh man, yeah, mine went in a different direction. It didn't work out. We made it 7 years though. I give it that. We made it 7 years, so that's a blessing because it was a tough 7 years. But it's fine. But other than that, like, what do you have plans for the future? Like, what type of things did you have planned for the future as far as like your career, where you want to go with it, who would you like to work with, things like that?
Man, those are some great questions that I think about all the time, and I think music is forever changing, and since I started in the beginning, like my rap style or target was like real battle rap. It was really like I used to write verses trying to take your head off, and it went from going to that to try to make songs that you could actually relate to try to make songs you could dance to songs you could feel. And throughout the years it's changed so much, and the last thing that I'm currently working on is, like, honestly, I like to call it like a neo soul vibe, because I feel like that kind of retro stuff is still active and you could bring it back, and people, I mean, me personally, I love hearing something remixed, like a classic Biggie record, like Give Me the Loot, that was one I recently flipped for somebody, and just like hearing that remix, like a lot of people do it because, one, it's recognizable, it to your ear. I heard this somewhere before. Like, you take an old record and you flip it, everybody loves it. I mean, look at Juice WRLD with Sting. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right, The Shape of My Heart, like everybody knows that record, so that guitar is instantly picked up on the ear, So stuff like that I feel is always gonna be something that you could kind of, instantly connect with automatically. But as I'm getting older, man, with kids and stuff, like I'm starting to like actually back off the music. I was actually telling my brother Jesse that came out with me that like I'm really thinking about taking a step back, like putting out the last of my music that I got, and like just taking a step back, like for a little bit till God tells me something different, just because of the times, with family and stuff like that, because it's constantly interjecting, you know what I mean? I feel personally like it's just it's a full dedication, Not only is it I'm an artist and I'm producing myself, I'm also engineering myself, I'm also doing my own videos, editing my own videos, I'm also putting out my own artwork, creating my own artwork, distributing my own music. Like, everything is completely 100% independent, so it's a lot of work.
That's a lot.
Yeah, man. Speaking of that, what singles do you have out? I saw you got the Red Eye. I saw you did that thing with Boogie James. You got the Timeless, which that graphic was sick. That graphic was really dope on the Timeless.
We actually collaborated in that. Shout out to Boogie James on Point Productions, man. He does a great job too. He was an inspiration to me because he already had started his own little production thing before I got into mine. And the crazy thing is, like, I didn't even want to be like into production. I literally just wanted to copyright the name, Free the World. So someone told me in order to do that, you got to get an LLC and stuff. So that's what I did, and then from there, it just became a thing. And people were like, "Oh, you do production? What do you do?" And I'm like, "I could basically do anything." And then they started like trying me. Well, can you do this? Can you do that? And I started getting hired a couple times to do certain things back and forth. But yeah, it's a full-time commitment and career. And when you work a full-time job and you got kids and you're married, like you pointed out, it's a lot, and that's where a lot of stuff does happen, And my wife and I have separated before and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we're on good terms now. I'd hope.
Hey, I hope so, man. I watch a lot of crime shows.
It's funny you say that because my wife does. She loves that murder mystery.
I'm telling you, man, you better be on the crime shows, man.
You're back, my brother.
You listen.
Say, man, hey, the crime shows keep you on your toes. I'm telling you, man, because there's some crazy people out in this world. So you better watch that stuff.
She loves that shit. She watches it all the time, and she's always like finding out people that got away with murder and stuff, and it makes me nervous as hell sometimes now that I think about it. But I think she's fascinated with it because that's she likes the story behind it, I guess. I don't know. It's just amazing the change of times. I can't get into it personally, me, because I feel like that kind of energy just is not beneficial to me. Like I can't. Like she watches the stuff with the children, you know, being like hurt and abused and stuff like that. Yeah, like I watch it for like educational. Like, okay, I'm aware who this name is. You know what I mean? And I understand like where, you know, these Department of Family Services, you know, fall short, and I'm aware of that type of information. But I don't need to know the details. I don't need to know about the little boy being trapped in a closet.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the reason why I watch it is mainly just to be up on game as far as like things going on in the world and understand like we do live in a wicked world and people are very wicked. So you got to understand like everybody that shakes your hand don't want good for you. So usually I watch that just to understand like if I'm in a relationship or I'm dealing with someone, I can see signs of things so I can protect myself. So it's not really to get caught up into like the actions of what people are doing on the show. It's basically for my own understanding. Like I can't trust everybody. You have to pay attention to the signs of what people, who they are and what they're about, because people come and smile at your face all the time, and they will be in front of you and like they'll give you this impression that you thinking like, oh yeah, they're good people, they're nice. Then next thing you know, you see them on the movie and you're like, oh my God, these guys are terrible.
Ted Bundy type, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. But you know what else I think it is also is it's like awareness. You know what I mean? It's like a thing of awareness. It's just being aware, especially when you have children. You know what I mean? Like certain things to be aware of. Like I wasn't aware of half the vaccines. I wasn't aware of half the stuff that I put in my body, the foods I eat, all that stuff, like grass-fed beef,
Yeah.
like certain little adjustments, like the water you drink. You know what I mean? It's big though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when it comes to like making changes to your life, it's little things like that that make a huge difference.
Okay. So let me ask you, if someone was looking for you and wanted to contact you and wanted to work with you, anything like that, you have any information you can give out to people about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Instagram, all social media platforms, at PassionPFTW on all social media platforms. I also have business cards, so if you catch me in the streets, I'll give you one. It's got a little SD, what do they call them now? The QR codes.
Oh yeah.
So you hold your camera up to it.
Yeah, look, send the link.
And it will send you right to a link tree
Yep.
that has the website for Free the World Productions in case you need production done. It's got links to, you know, Spotify, all, you know, DSPs, digital streaming platforms. It's got the YouTube links to the music videos. It's got, you know, my social media is connected to there. So you could also find that in any bio, whether via Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Every one of my bios has that link tree in there, so it shows everything that I do.
All right. Well, that's been our show. And hey, you know how to reach me and Jake. You can either go to the website or you can just check us out on YouTube, Kicking It with Kel and Jake. And like I say, that'll end our show. And like I say, you can like, subscribe, and share. Leave us a comment in the comment box. And hey, we got another for you coming.
Yep. Thanks for sitting down with us, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Peace.